Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 Early Access action. Yes, indeed, we're here with Crone Hellebron herself, taking a look at some of the Dark Elf stuff today. Some of the new goodies have been added. We're flying under Crone Hellebron's colors. Harganeth, I believe, is the name of the faction. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump to the army composition. It's going to be facing off against the Green Tide. And, yeah, Hellebron herself is probably the next scariest duelist in the game. She is a powerhouse, guys. Very, very scary in melee. You do not want any lord or hero coming into base contact with Hellebron, or she will delete them at a very alarming rate. So let's go ahead and take a look at her abilities here. Murderous Mastery. Frenzy, of course. So when Murderous Prowess does pop off, she goes extra crazy. She has Strength through Spite for that +5 constant melee attack. She also has a similar ability to what the Norskins have, where through successive stages of combat, she'll gain additional armor piercing and then vigor. We've also got her item, the Cursed Blade, so basically when she starts losing combat, she'll activate an area of effect drain around her. It's better against single targets, but obviously it's an area of effect, so it does hit everyone in that area of effect. She also has an item that gives her plus 33% magic resistance on herself and in an area of effect, which is very strong. Because Hellebron doesn't have a way to heal, she needs some way to defend herself from magic gooning, like Final Transmutation and so on. She's also got Heroic Killing Blow, Witch Brew, which you guys have seen before, same one that the Death Hag carries, and also the Gaze of Cain. This is essentially like an area of effect Witch Brew. It's a super cool effect. You guys will, I'm sure, see it plenty of times over the next few days. It's kind of this red mist effect, and you will see it in this battle. In terms of the rest of the army compositions, we've got some new stuff here. Doomfire Warlocks are a really nice light cavalry unit added for the Dark Elves. They do magic damage and poison. They're pretty fast, 90 speed, and they also have bound spells. The Regiment of Renown version in particular has Soul Sealer for self-healing, which is very strong, and Word of Pain for a nasty single target debuff. The regular version of the Doomfire Warlocks has Soul Blight and Doombolt, I believe, both very good spells. So, yeah, these guys are relatively expensive. They're basically like Wild Riders. You can think of them similar to Wild Riders. They're kind of like a mix of Wild Riders and Sisters of Thorn. They have the support spells of the Sisters of Thorn, but they don't have the missile attacks, whereas they have the same hitting power in melee, more or less, as Wild Riders. They're not quite as powerful, but they do have the debuffs and buffs to help with that. We've also got 2 units of Sisters of Slaughter. These gladiatrices are very, very scary for a number of factions, although they are 1,100 points and they only have 5 armor. So they are the very definitions of glass cannons. Thankfully, they do have a missile block chance of 35% and 60 melee defense, so they're surprisingly tanky in melee. But the lack of armor means they can get shot up or charged by big nasties pretty easily, so you gotta be careful. That being said, they also have this Trial of Blades ability, of course physical resistance, but Trial of Blades, if they're losing combat, they get not 4%, but plus 4 armor piercing damage, just flat, and plus 9 melee attack. So they already have great combat stats at 40 attack, 60 defense, so that extra 9 melee attack definitely helps. And with their weapon strength, they're at 39 with 12 AP, and that gives a plus 4, so it brings them up to 16 AP. So a nice buff, and it only activates if they're losing, but considering how light of armor they have, it's not too hard to trigger that. We also got the Regiment of Renown unit of Executioners here. The Blades of the Blood Queen. They have the Guardian trait, meaning they give all heroes and lords in an area of effect 18% physical resistance. Very, very nice. They also have amazing combat stats. I've done some testing, as you guys will see, probably in a video somewhere around the next couple of days. These guys trade very evenly with Chosen with great weapons. We've also got the Regiment of Renown unit of Witch Elves here, Sisters of Singing Doom. They cause fear and terror, which is a little bit interesting. It does mean that if you're trying to pin down a unit that causes fear and terror, that they won't be terrified themselves, obviously, because they cause terror. It does also mean, though, that sometimes when you're trying to pin down maybe a unit without that great leadership, or that doesn't have Fear of Terror or Immune to Psych, they can get terrified away by these guys, which is kind of counterintuitive to what you would want, but still, very strong unit overall. Obviously, they have amazing attack stats. And last Regiment of Renown here before we kick into the battle. I know, long-winded intro, but there's so much new stuff to go over. The Hellebron, these bronies here, with their spears and their pink shields, have poison attacks, excellent melee defense, and expert charge defense. So even infantry charging them won't get their charge bonus. And that's it. I've also got a Shadow Sorcerer, a couple of units of Harpies to round things out. And for Black Iron, who I'm fighting up against here, no surprises, Grimgor Ironhide on the field. I do want to highlight some of the changes to WoG here. WoG has been changed to, for those of you who played Rome 2, similar to like the Swaby Fast Charge. It gives speed, charge bonus, and melee attack, but it's map wide. So you do need to be engaged in melee to recharge the ability. But I'm interested to see how this change plays out. So far in my experience, it's been a really interesting change. Definitely kind of changes the way you think about playing the Greenskins, because you want to get one huge map-wide timing push with all your units at the same time. So you take advantage of that charge bonus, melee attack, and speed all together. But yeah, we're just kind of flying over with the Harpies, doing a bit of scouting. We've also managed to catch these Mangy Marauders. We're now going to hit them with the Word of Pain and come in here with the Doomfire Warlocks, and you guys will see they spray little jets of Fellfire from their hands. It's super cool. Gobos are going to come in here, but these are the Regiment of Renown, I believe, AP Gloonies, so they are unbreakable. They'll be able to hold here for some time. A very nice cast of the Fanatics as well, going straight through those Sisters of Slaughter, and they are going to get flanked, unfortunately, by... oh, man, that guy just got straight through the Hargoneth Executioners, even. But yeah, all across the line here, you can see these Black Orcs fighting Witch Elves and Sisters of Slaughter here. So surrounded by naked elf ladies, not as much fun as you would think. But now the red mist has descended, and all these Executioners in here and the Sisters of Slaughter and so on in this pocket are just going to be going absolutely crazy. You can see these guys are up to 83 melee attack, and the WoG effect has gone off as well. You can see that. I love the new WoG effect, that kind of green effect that's going on all the greenskin units. You can see it is map wide. Black Iron was a little bit late on proccing that, but he did manage to pretty much see off my Slaanescious Harvesters, who were otherwise doing decently. We did drop the Soul Stealer to try and get some self-healing, but it wasn't quite enough at the end of the day. You can see these Black Orcs here lost out hard to the Blades of the Blood Queen and Hellebron herself with her armor-piercing anti-infantry. She can get a lot of work done in melee, even just cutting through infantry blobs. She can get hundreds of kills because she has a really strong splash attack. Meanwhile, Grimgor's got a hold of my Shadow Sorceress, who is trying to get back here into these Orc boys, but Grimgor's not having any of that jazz, and unfortunately I am not going to notice before it's too late. She's going to get taken off the battlefield. Black Orcs pushing through on several fronts. Hellbrons are over on this side, losing out to the Warlords boys. No surprise there, but at least they'll hold for some time. This is not really a cost-effective engagement for me. I have about 2,000 resources of naked Lady Elves invested here, and they're really not paying off. They're beating the Black Orcs, but it's not exactly cost effective. You saw that nice Foot of Gork go down, did some good damage to the Sisters and to the Blades of the Blood Queen, and at this point it's not really looking great. However, we do have Hellebron. She's got her sights set on Grimgor, so now we're going to get the Duel of the Fates here. As oh, come on, guys. There we go. They're going to get it going here, and Grimgor is not going to like this. I mean, he'll do some damage, but just look at the chunks that Hellebron takes out of him. Hellebron's got heroic killing blow up as well, so she's up to 700 weapon strength, and she is just taking chunks out of Grimgor. And yeah, because she has very fast attack speeds, she can take down your lord or hero before you can even notice. And for those of you who watch the Everchosen Invitational, you may have seen my matches against Janet on occasion. I had the Fey Enchantress get gibbed, just absolutely gibbed by Hellebron before I even knew what had happened. So yeah, ooh man, a little bit of friendly fire in Grimgor's skull there, but ooh, double to the eye. Wow, how about that? But yeah, Hellebron able to take him down. That being said, she did take a lot of damage there, and the Orc Arrow Boys are obviously the best counter you have, and they're doing a lot of damage as well. Hellebron just doesn't have the defensive stats. She has such low armor that even the Orc Boys are able to do some damage there. That being said, we did manage to break up the Suey Pig squad over here with the Blades of the Blood Queen and the Sisters of Slaughter combining. So it's starting to come back a little bit. What had initially looked like a very, very bad situation is starting to come back. We've also got the Regiment of Renown Witch Elves and Sisters of Sisters of Slaughter, again, working in tandem here to take down the Warlord's Boys, Regiment of Renown Gobos. Their armor sundering isn't going to do a whole lot in this situation. The Gobbo Big Boss also getting enraged here, not on any mount, interesting, so just purely for the leadership support. But yeah, we're not quite out of the woods yet. You can see the balance power starting to turn against me once again. A lot of these units don't have missile block chance. Obviously, well, actually, the Executioners are the only one without a missile block chance, but the Sisters of Slaughter do have their tiny little bucklers here. They're going to take some damage, but hopefully they'll be able to get in. Hopefully that physical resistance and that tiny missile block chance carries them. Sisters of Slaughter do have excellent leadership. That is one of their best traits, is that they are super hard to break, and you can see they do actually get into these Orc Air Boys here. And the Air Boys, obviously because of their melee defense, are going to struggle to make successful contact with the Sisters of Slaughter. And obviously because of diminishing returns, they will be able to make some contact. But again, over here, this unit of Sisters of Slaughter getting into these Gobos, just taking them to task. They've got their whips and their bucklers out. And yeah, it's a bad time for the Gobos. The Sisters of Slaughter will, no pun intended, slaughter them. So yeah. At this point, nice charge from Black Iron coming in on these Blades of the Blood Queen. They are barely holding out here. He really needs to disengage with these Orc Air Boys, though. We're so far behind on the balance power, it's not going to take much to trigger army losses here. That being said, these Sisters of Slaughter finishing off that unit of Gobos, and these Blades of the Blood Queen here, again, the Regiment of Renown Elf units have such amazing leadership that they're going to be incredibly hard to break. These Executioners, despite having seen Hellebron go down, which I didn't quite catch on camera, but Hellebron did get gunned down by the Orc Air Boys there. We're going to intercept these Gobos with some Dread Spears here just to keep them out of this main fight, and then the Executioners are able to break the Orc Air Boys. So at this point, there is still this mostly full health unit of Black Orcs. We're pretty far behind on the balance of power, but the Orc Shaman is currently surrounded by the Executioners, and because he's an infantry model, he doesn't have any mount or anything. He is going to be subject to that bonus versus infantry, so they're just barely going to break him. Holy cow, 700 HP left on the Blades of the Blood Queen. Sisters of Slaughter here have about 1800 HP. Again, they're going to get into the Gobos, and the Gobos, because the Sisters have such great melee defense, are not going to be able to make the best contact, so we should be able to clean them up without too much issue. And yeah, at this point, I'm not sure if I can take out this unit of Black Orcs. I mean, obviously, Sisters of Slaughter don't have the best AP. If we can get that other effect procking, I forget the name of it here, the Trial of Blades. If we can get that procking, they'll do better against the Black Orcs, because it'll give them a little bit of extra AP, and it won't be super hard to make them start losing combat against the Orcs. The tricky thing is to do it in such a way that they don't break, or worse, shatter. So we'll see how the engagement unfolds here. Balance power starting to creep back a little bit as that Shaman just did shatter, so the leadership support is relying on the Gobbo Big Boss only. A lot of the rest of the Greenskin units shattered at this point, so man, what a close battle. Very well played to Black Iron, and yeah, it was super fun. Down to the absolute wire. And at this point, the Executioners are going to be coming in. Same thing with the Sisters of Slaughter. They're coming in to the side here. They do have a decent charge bonus, I believe. 20, it's not bad. 26 on the Blades of the Blood Queen here, so they're also charging in. And yeah, at this point, the Black Orcs are they're in trouble. They're getting attacked, and oh man, that whip, those whip crack sounds nasty. But yeah, the Black Orcs, because they'll start beating the Sisters of Slaughter momentarily, and that'll proc the buff, and then the Sisters will start beating them back. So it's going to be tough. They did manage to rout off the Executioners, so that's good. Let's see if these Black Orcs can finish off the Sisters of Slaughter in what has to be the most brutal and bloody late-game combat I have seen to date, or one of them, certainly. But the Gobbo Big Boss is fighting in here as well, and this is honestly probably a mistake. He should have probably kept the Big Boss just kind of hanging out near the side, because once the Big Boss starts to take damage, which he will, don't make no mistake, he'll take damage from those Sisters, that's going to affect the Black Orcs' leadership, and all of a sudden you can see the Sisters of Slaughter are actually winning here, and just the Black Orcs are not able to get through the 60 melee defense, up to 62 now from a chevron and a half on these Sisters of Slaughter. They're just not able to make contact, only 36 attack on Black Orcs. They don't have the best combat stats, and at this point they're being poisoned and dragged into the mud, and just these Sisters of Slaughter will not break. They refuse to break, and so the Black Orcs are indeed going to go down here, and what was initially looking super bad for the Dark Elves is going to turn around into a victory. So very well played to Black Iron Battles. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. A good showcase of some of the new Dark Elf units. Very fun stuff. So yeah, in terms of the army breakdown there, the Sisters of Slaughter, man, they're MVPs in this matchup. They're not the best in every matchup because, again, 1100 points, very light armor. They do have 60 melee defense, but that 5 armor, yeah, means they're kind of like Plague Sensor Bears, although I would say they're better than Sensor Bears because they have that high melee defense. They do have a missile block chance. They don't have the AP, obviously, or the magic damage, but they do have poison. And yeah, very strong units overall. You can see 121, 206 kills. The Blades of the Blood Queen as well, 190. A lot of those, keep in mind, coming against Black Orcs and other elite infantry. These Blades of the Blood Queen are probably the strongest regiment of renown for the Dark Elves. It's hard to say, but they're very, very strong. Hellebron, the bronies, they'll do okay. Poison Spears are always nice. They have good melee defense too, so you don't expect them to necessarily win a lot of combats, but they'll hold for a while. Hellebron doing her work, just completely gibbing Grimgor there. Man, I was surprised at how fast that actually happened. But then she herself ultimately paid the price to the Orc Error Boys, so it ended up being super close there in the endgame. Not super sold on the Regiment of Renowned Witch Elves. I think it may be better to just take a regular unit of Witch Elves. I mean, the Terror is nice, and I didn't have any other Terror-causing units in this army, so having the one Terror-causing unit, especially against the Greenskins, can be pretty useful, but I'm not completely sold here. The Doomfire Warlocks, on the other hand, are a great unit. I just didn't use them super well in this particular battle, but I really like the addition. Definitely strengthens the cavalry game of the Dark Elves quite a bit, which is something that they lacked overall. But yeah, for Black Iron's army, you can see the Black Orcs, a couple of them did very well, 76 and 190. This one got an XP Chevron. I believe that was the one that was fighting the Sisters and the Witch Elves, so that in and of itself was cost effective. Some of the Air Boys, this one, 56 kills, 2 chevrons. The Orc Borbiggins did a good job of seeing off the Slaanesha's Harvesters, but then unfortunately didn't quite get enough done after that. We were able to get on the Mangy Marauders as well with some of the Harpies, so that was nice for me. But overall, it ended up being a super close battle, and I still think this is a matchup that's going to be very, very close. But yeah, it's going to come down to the small things. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, though. Let me know what kind of matchups you want to see. If you enjoyed seeing the new Dark Elf units, it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I can't wait for you all to get your hands on it as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you do like this kind of content, feel free to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. I'm going to be keeping it coming with more early access content, so keep it right here, and we'll see you next time.